These are my friends. Come along with me, see how the story ends.
This episode is brought to you by testkitplus.com. We all know how important it is to prioritize your health and well-being, especially when it comes to recreational activities. That's why we want to tell you about our buddies over there. They can be your go-to resource for high-quality, easy-to-use recreational test kits. Whether you're planning a weekend getaway, attending a music festival, or just having a good time with your friends, it's really important to make sure you know what you're putting into your body. So head on over to testkitplus.com/professional hippies. That way you can be sure you're safe and you have the peace of mind of what you're putting in your body. They have test kits designed to detect a wide range of substances, providing accurate and reliable results in the comfort of your own home. Knowledge is power, so don't leave anything to chance. Again, that's testkitplus.com/professional hippies. This episode is brought to you by North Spore. Ever wondered what secrets lie beneath the forest floor? What if I told you there's a hidden kingdom waiting to be explored right in your own home? North Spore is your getaway to this magical world. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned mycologist, North Spore has everything you need to cultivate culinary delights, medicinal powerhouses, and even a little mind-expanding magic. Unlock the power of fungi with their top-notch spawn, easy-to-use kits, and a treasure trove of knowledge. If you're ready to embark on your mushroom journey, visit northspore.com and discover a community of passionate growers, expert resources, and endless possibilities. It's time to tap into the ancient wisdom of fungi and transform your world. Be sure to use code PROFESSIONALHIPPIES for a very special discount to fuel your fungal exploration. North Spore, where wonder grows. From the top, today's guest is Kanye. Just kidding. Hey, stay with us. We're the Professional Hippies, and we'd love to guide you through another journey of your inner thoughts. Should we make that an audiobook? That'd be good, right?
You have your inner thoughts.
Have you seen that?
It's in the section demonic.
Have you seen the Grinch? You know, around Christmas time, so the Grinch little video would be like doing yoga, and they're like, exhale. And he just screams.
I'm always like, I feel that, man. I get it. And they all turn around to him like, what the, but I mean, in all fairness, that's what it's all about is, letting it out in yoga.
In all fairness, I think yoga is like the hardest exercise I can do.
Yeah. Hold any pose for more than 10 seconds. Good luck.
It's not that. It's the silence that slowly kills me. Like they take away the way I cope, which is like class clown behavior, laugh through your pain kind of deal. You can still laugh. Mm-hmm. Like no one looks at me weird if, I let out a toot and laugh about it. Because you're doing your crane giraffe pose.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do like the, masculine energy of just suck it up kind of thing.
I love the way Thancha runs hers because she'll do, all the hard poses and do everything. At the end, she has a solid 10 minutes of playing the guitar. I 100% enjoy that 10-minute nap.
Right?
She's like, okay, breathe, let it. I just fall asleep. I've snored in it before at the end. Like
the AMSR
whatever.
Of all your muscles still crackling and popping.
That's right. Exactly. just feeling all the joints blow.
Dude, I was thinking about you the other day because my knee has been doing funky stuff. Like a couple months ago, I was at Ultimate Frisbee, and I planted really hard, and it just felt funky. I was like, whatever, something's there. We'll pay attention to it. And then it wasn't until a couple weeks ago, these super athletic dudes came out to play with us, and we were like, oh, for sure, those Jack Black dudes are for sure football players. Mm-hmm. They were some of the baddest ultimate Frisbee players. I mean, it's like take your D2 football athletes and then teach them how to throw a Frisbee. I was like, yo, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm literally watching high level judo cuts. Like this dude's dropping his hips, running the other direction. I'm like, that's not how white people play, They do kind of like the slow Alex Steele runs or Travis Kelce where it's just kind of deceiving, but they'll get away from you. These guys are like
Wes Welker.
I saw that and I was like, no, that's how I know my knee's not good. I'm not even like, that looks fun. Let me play with those dudes. It's like, that's how you blow out something.
Even when my knees were good, it still wouldn't be like that at all.
Yeah. So I've been doing like knee rehab exercises and stuff. At this age, it's just maintenance. It's like, I just want to make sure I don't jump down from my truck and be like, yep, okay. I knew it happened eventually. Let me go ahead and.
Oh yeah, you get a little twang and you're like, that's fine. The knee's always the one that it'll warn you a little bit. Like, hey, just let you know.
I mean, you'd know. You've had what, 5 surgeries?
I've had 5 surgeries, and sure enough, like every time.
What was your first one? How old were you? 17?
Oh, dude, the first one was I was in 9th grade.
Oh, okay.
I was in 9th grade. No, 8th grade. No, it was 8th grade, 8th or 9th grade. I can't remember. And it was funny going to a Christian school, and it was the first time we ever played against a public school, right? And they were doing some crappy, some shitty things because we were really beating them. And so we were beating them really bad. So I was QB and decided, hey, coach decided to swap it out for the backup and move me over into wide receiver because I played that role before. And so the coach goes, stay away from the play. Like anything that happens, just stay away from the play. Like, no problem. Yeah, run away from the play. Sure enough, like the play kicks off, the QB runs my direction, of course. So I go into blocking mode, and the QB runs right up here next to me, like right behind me. And so because of that, I look down as I'm blocking, and sure enough, I see a guy come running and spearheads my knee, just bam, right into it, takes out the whole knee. I said every curse word I could think of it as a 9th grader, in the book. And like the coaches being like a Christian school, they come like, shh. And I was like, no, F you. Like, this is, what the hell is this? Like, that was the most, I couldn't put a pinpoint on that was the most painful I've ever felt anything in my entire life. And I felt it multiple times since then, but I've known it, got used to it somehow ever since then, That
was the first time you and that pain got to shake hands. And
that was the first time
I'll be back.
That was the first time me and God was like, hey man, what is that?
Yeah. That's what shoulder rehab was like for me. They were like, dude, if you would have got this surgery when you tore your shoulder, you'd be fine. Which was true. I had a friend had the exact same surgery I did, like months after. Yeah. And he's like, dude, what are you talking about? My recovery was like a week and a half. They were like, you little special snowflake. You decided to wait 4 years. All your nerves are fried. So that was a wild experience.
My mom and I always laughed about it too, because we like an ambulance. We had a big red van back then, and my dad backed up the red van onto the field. Like I hobbled off, they loaded me in the back of that. We went to the nearest, whatever hospital, and then they were like, oh yeah, you should probably be fine. Doesn't look sprained. We'll put this on you. Just get you home, because we were actually in Panama City. I think that's where we were. Yeah, we were at Panama City. There was I don't know what team or school we were playing, but we were in Panama City, and the guy's like, yeah, you should probably be fine. Just here, we'll put a brace on you. Just get home and do your thing and get it checked out. And sure enough, they get checked out. They're like, oh no, your knee is messed up. You messed up your ACL torn completely, meniscus. And then the doctor, when we saw him, he was like, yeah, if we do surgery on it now, it's going to offset your leg length because you're still growing. And so like they're like, we're gonna have to wait a full year before we can do the surgery. So full year of just the knee giving out at random ass times.
That's what you like.
It's what I wanted. I asked him, I was like, what's the worst possible scenario? And he's like, this. I was like, let's do it.
I knocked myself out at a wrestling tournament. I slammed a guy too hard, and he like wrapped my head up as I was slamming him, which you're not supposed to slam, and now I understand why. So my head's stuck in the mat. I'm out. The guy flops me over, pins me, and the ref is just thinking, there's a lot of kids that are like whine or fake injuries or whatever. I was out. Mm-hmm. I mean, on the video, like I don't remember it, only remember watching the video. And my coach comes running across, pushes the ref off, and it's like, what the fuck are you thinking? He's like cradling my neck. They're like, dude, get an ambulance in here. My coach was a Marine. He's like, yeah, that kid's out. So they put me on a stretcher, take me out. And I was just starting to come to on the stretcher. Apparently, everyone was super worried because I didn't do the thumbs up on the way out. I was like, I didn't know what the fuck's going on. They had my head duct tape. You know, they take this red tape out and they duct tape it. Yeah. And it was so intense. I was getting this crippling migraine. I mean, I was begging and pleading them. I was like, guys, do whatever. But I was like, can you just back it off? And they're like, dude, we don't know if your neck's broken. I'm like, even if it is, at this point, it's worth it not to feel this. As soon as I got to the hospital, they give me a Percocet. Then I was like, you can strap me to whatever you want. Duct tape me to the fucking wall. I'm good.
Percocets are so good. Oh,
highly underrated. Especially when you're in pain. When you're in pain. Because I've had them,
they're great.
When they're prescribed I've been prescribed Percocets when I was not didn't really need it. Then it just made my tongue like furry. And
isn't it amazing the difference? Like when you are in pain, it like you don't feel as high at all because it's taking care of the problem.
It's doing what it's supposed to do.
It's like, how is this little pill know to go to like take care? I don't know how they figured out to take care of that. But if you're not in pain, you're like, this is a great time.
I don't like it when I'm not in pain. I'll be honest.
I had I mean, at ninth grade, they gave me, I don't know if they were trying to experiment or what. They gave me Percocet and at the time, what they called extra strength Tylenol, I'm pretty sure was Oxycontin. They gave me both of them and were like, take both of these. Let's see what happens. I had to flush them at ninth grade because after all the pain went away, because it was like, oh, this is not good.
I mean, it was to the point with my shoulder surgery because I had a morphine drip in, and they like have little tethers for the morphine to drip all over your shoulder. And when it was time to come out, 3 days in or whatever, I told my roommate, I was like, hey man, I'm like, I couldn't sleep in a bed for I think 7 or 8 weeks. I had to sleep in the recliner straight up and down. And 3 days after the surgery, I'm like, hey man, can you help me take this out? He's like, yeah, dude, I'm rushing to work or whatever. And he just forgets and runs out the door. And I'm like, okay, so I got to do this. So I'm like slowly pulling the thing out, and it's killing me. And he forgot his keys, and he came back in. I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, Chad, can you help me out with the morphine drip? He's like, yeah, what do I do? I was like, I just need to pull out. He's like, yep, you got it. And just rips it out of my shoulder. And he's like, see you later, man. Dude, this like white lightning came across my vision. I was just sitting.
It's not even a scream. You just stare up to the sky. Like, what? What was that?
Pain's a funny thing. I don't honestly see the appeal for
I was at a Halloween once, and there was just a group of people, at the squads. There was a squad next to me watching the show, and the chick goes, hey, can you give me another Oxy? Just turned around like, Oxy? Are you trying to take a nap? I don't understand.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like the concoctions people will come up with out there. You're like, there was what was the festival we were at? Okeechobee. Yeah. When that the group of that girl having a terrible time, just with horrible friends. They were going back to the tent for something like that, Oxys or Percocets or.
I don't understand that at a festival. I was like, are we taking naps here? I don't understand.
I'm like, who told you that's what you're supposed to do here?
Spin around 3 times, you'll get the same experience. Like,
yeah, I'm like, just go ahead and go throw up in the porta potty. Just get there quicker.
You can take other things for the constipation. You don't have to do it that way.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you want? You want a rehab experience? You want to eat some applesauce? Is that what you're really craving right now? Who hurt you?
Who hurt you? Who did that?
Yeah, man. Speaking of music festivals, we have a proposition for you.
Bonnaroo?
The lineup's not enticing enough for me. I'm sorry.
Man, our buddy James was definitely looking forward to it. Maybe we can get him going.
Maybe. There's another one though coming up. Let me sell it to you. Have you ever seen a full lunar eclipse?
Kinda, yeah.
Like full on? Like sun totally blacked out event?
Yeah, I was at work when it happened, so kinda. I caught it at the last minute, so I'll say no. I didn't get the full experience when it happened.
You got the tip in, for sure.
I made a sale at least when it happened. That's all.
You'll tell your
friends
friends you lost your virginity, but we all know the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah, pretty much. That's
It
a
didn't
great
last.
No, it was pretty quick, honestly.
Yeah. So I don't remember the exact dates. I think it's in April outside of Austin. They have a really good lineup. It's called the Lunar Festival or the Eclipse Festival or something like that.
I've seen something about that. Yeah, I'll look. I'm going on a cruise in April, so we'll see.
Yeah. Pretty good lineup, you know. It's got some people that play beep boop.
Is it in Austin?
It's outside Austin.
Honestly, just a reason to visit Austin before you move away. That's really what I want.
And we're thinking just doing like Friday night, Saturday night. So we'll just kind of do the weekend part too.
Yeah, that's the way to do those smaller ones.
Oh, well, let's see.
Like
Let's, you know. Well,
Until Sunday. Now we look at the lineup on Sunday. No, carried it on.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so they have, I don't know who Bad Snacks is, but I do love the name.
The name carries that of Bad Snacks.
Yeah, but you got like big, gigantic.
That's awesome.
Oh, the one that sold me for was Barclay Crenshaw. Gonna be there.
Hell yeah.
Closey.
Love me some Barclay. Closey, awesome.
You got your typicals, Subtronics, Zed's Dead, Tipper, LS Dream.
It's crazy to say Subtronics is typical now.
I mean, but you love it. You know, I'd love to see like Bob Moses. That'd be a fun one.
Bob Moses is a good one. Yeah.
You know? Yeah, you know, there's other people. Like, I also love like the Finding folks, you know, Of the Trees, another one. Big fan. String Cheese Incident, STS9, Tycho, Disco Biscuits, the Floozies. This is not an ad, folks.
This lineup is awesome.
Yeah, I'm fired up for it.
It's got a pretty wide mesh of people in this one.
Yeah, and there's a ton of people on here too that would be more like
Disco Biscuits and String Cheese and STS9.
You heard that right?
Wow.
First. So I'm like, you know, I like festivals that have the names where I know if all the other ones suck, at least I know what I'm gonna get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need like an O'Charlie's type of experience where I'm walking away like Carrabba's bread. If the dish sucked, I know the bread is gonna be fire. Okay? Give me some herbs and some oil and some bread, and we're good. Okay? So we
That's
have
a good analogy.
The most fire bread there. We'll see how the other entrees are. You know, the apps, who knows? You know, maybe we just fuck around with the floozies a little bit. See how their mozzarella sticks are hanging. Or the string cheese, be a better example.
Hope they're cheesy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, we're thinking just like our buddy Tyler's coming to town for it. Cool. He's going to be camping, so.
Tyler from Colorado?
Yeah, so.
Are you camping for it or no?
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting the RV back over here for it.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while since you had a chance to experience Minnie.
Me and Winnie Penny.
Or her experience you, more or less.
That's really what it was. I slapped her too many times, honestly. She might not remember. No, she'll remember. But
you get in that driver's seat, she goes,
ooh, I
time
remember
for a transmission issue, anyone?
I said the driver's seat, she's like, I remember that ass.
I think it's so funny. Every time I'm in the passenger seat of someone driving my RV, I'm like, God damn, can you center this thing up? And without fail, whoever's driving, like, dude,
I'm doing my best, man. I'm doing my best.
This is the exact same way you drive, okay? It's the same experience when we sit over there, too.
Yeah.
All you got to do is go through an intersection, hit a couple safety cones, and then you're like, yeah, we're right where we need to be.
We're exactly where we need to be. Remember that? Go. About a mile down, I'm like, I just want to let you know you did hit those safety cones. If you were wondering if you did or not, you 100% took those out.
So
I just wanted to see if you're going to get pulled over for them or not.
I don't think I told you this, but on the way to Burning Man, you know, we are 30 minutes from where we're going to camp just before we roll in for the last 4 hours, that last little town or whatever, right? So I noticed that Kel, on the way to driving it to Vegas to meet us, he had dinged something with the muffler. Like it's very distinct because the muffler's rusty, and then there's not rusty parts suddenly on the muffler with dents. And I'm like, okay, whatever. He tapped something. And I proceed to do the same damn thing on the way to that first campsite, and then we pull by a squash festival or something like that. It was an obscure fruit/vegetable. I don't know. And I heard that ting go off, and we were driving by a lot of parked cars. And so, I'm like, we were on the road though, and the cars are parked in the grass. And there were these little metal, I don't even know, not like the big signs or something. Anyway, I heard that ting go off, immediately knew what it was, thought back to the safety cones, and I was like, when in doubt, do not turn around. You keep going, because either someone parked too close to the road or hit a sign. But if you
just keep on driving,
had a mysterious
what
RV,
happened?
love tap you.
All right, on going.
It wasn't us.
That's the way of the RV life. You just keep going. You keep driving.
Keep going, baby. Keep going.
This would be an SNL skit. Just like it's an RV commercial, and it just like causing problems every the way, and then it slows it, so shows it driving into the sunset, and the words just say, "Keep driving, keep RVing."
Speaking of camping, how was your 1840s?
1840s camping trip, Alafaya Rendezvous in Florida. It's pretty awesome. Had a good time. They're still out there. They'll be out there in the next couple of weeks, but
that's wild.
We'll be at Gasparilla next weekend, so we couldn't make it the second weekend, but it was fun, going for one weekend, camp in a canvas tent and walk around and just be high and drunk the entire time.
Do you wear underwear?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's probably the only, that and my hiking socks are probably the only non-1840s things I'm wearing.
Do you typically wear underwear?
Yes.
Yeah.
You want canvas rubbing back and forth down there?
Is it canvas? I didn't know if you're wearing a kilt or what the fuck you're wearing.
Like canvas pants. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get a good mental image.
Kilt would probably be better. I don't know. I've been out there and I've seen, because there's Native Americans that also come out there. They literally bring a teepee shelter. Like there's literally teepees out there because that's what they had back then. And I've seen Native Americans come in full loincloth out there, no underwear. Doing it. I mean, that's how they did it.
But the loincloth, it's just a flappy piece of leather.
A nice flappy piece of leather, though. It's like deer hide. Like they literally have like deer hide flapping back and forth on a nutsack.
I mean, is it ever guys with like not good pieces and they're like, this is part of my heritage? I'm just doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because at Burning Man, it almost feels like exclusively like if you have a hog, then you're walking around naked. Or you're in your 70s and you're like, you know what? Yeah, this is...
Well, what I want to do at Burning Man is if I find someone, like bring maybe one made out of hog's hide or like deer hide. And when they're just doing it with like fake leather, be like, no, you're going to do it. You got to do it right. Like let the animal slap you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's giving you a reminder every time. Skin on skin action.
We were having a cute little date night the other night, and we were...
Good transition.
Yeah, well, you'll see where I'm going with this. Yeah, we're hanging out, and so Blue Planet, I don't know, I just searched David Attenborough. We were in the mood for nature. Now they have a whole baby series of animals. It's the best part, and so here's the other cool thing, like animals aren't being murdered, and all the other ones, they show like the animals that are just like, yeah, this is nature. Nature eats nature. This one, all the babies survive, so it's very feel good.
Oh, it wasn't like a territorial thing, like, and the lion takes out the cub.
It was more like,
for territorial
and
reasons.
The lion produces the cutest thing you've ever seen. And it's just this little baby cub. And you're like, oh my God, that's so cute. Anyway, they show these seals. Abby didn't really love the fact. I was like, man, that looks like a great jacket. Sure would be a shame. Shouldn't, knock it off. But back to the point, if you're going to make a loincloth out of anything, I feel like some seal hide would be really comfortable.
Be warm.
It would.
Very, very warm.
It'd be a little like, or beaver. Dude,
beaver hide's pretty warm.
Hide?
Beaver hide's pretty warm.
Shit looks comfy, son.
Just a whole hide sheep.
That'd be a different kind of bush, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Every bush has something different.
Are there black sheep?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Black sheep, white sheep.
I feel like sheep, you typically want them to be consistent in color. it's not ideal to have spotted sheep.
I
Right?
guess it depends on what you're going for. Like, are you going for sheep to keep it around for meat, or are you going for a specific wool?
Well, that's the benefit of a sheep, though. You get both, right? You get milk.
Yeah, but if you're
wool,
like, I want black
meat.
wool, you're like, all right, I'll specifically go after a black sheep.
Are sheep the same thing as lambs?
I would assume so. I don't know.
Fair enough. I don't know. I mean, we've eaten them, you know?
They're delicious.
They are. We went to Tennessee. I was like, can I have that one? They're like, no. You can have his cousin, though. We already got that ready for you. It's like, okay. I'm not picky. You know?
Remember that? We went to that guy's plantation, ranch, whatever you call it.
Both are accurate.
Both in this valley. And he's like, you want to go see my sheep? Oh, you got to cross this river first. I built this bridge.
Yeah.
They got washed out by the cave over there.
Yeah, watch out for the cavern.
Watch out for the cavern to your left. It sometimes creates a massive flood that wipes out your bridge. And you have to build a new one. But anyway, on to my sheep.
It was like a giant version of a kid's like sand pit. He's like, yeah, I just took my Tonka toy from over there, moved a couple of boulders over here, and built a bridge, and Narnia's over there, by the way, if you want to go check out a million fireflies.
Yeah, goes, just go walk over there. You guys will be fine. Don't worry about it.
Go through the trees and it's just like, wow, this is the most serene shit I've ever seen. How's that happen?
Like this is too crazy. I gotta walk away from this. There's too many fireflies.
I was talking with someone the other day about planning a camping trip. I don't know if we do the festival. I don't know if I can do a camping trip in the spring. I really want to do like some backpacking.
Backpacking would be awesome. You want to do it earlier. March.
Like when? March?
February, March.
Maybe.
You start getting April. Like April's still good. It just starts getting the hotter weather a little bit. But it depends on how north you're going. You're going super north. You're probably not that bad. You're still kind of hanging around Georgia area.
I mean, if we like flew out like on a Friday and then started on like...
Depends on where you're going again. Like Northern California, there's still snow in the mountains at that time.
Yeah, I want to do something like that. I mean, like Tennessee. That was great. Yeah. Or like Asheville. Do some more of the AT. Something like that.
Classic.
Yeah. I was
down for it.
Just talking to a buddy and they're like, man, camping's the best. And I'm like, you know what? Nature kind of is the tits.
Nature is the tits. I'm going to see if I can work on AI and see if they can create some tits out of just like a forest. You know, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Do you have ChatGPT 4?
Not yet. I don't even know what I have. I just go on something and I don't know. Snapchat has one. There's Bart. There's all these different ones.
Yeah. I upgraded for the GPT-4 and it is astounding how helpful it is for like business, like creating my copy for emails and stuff, getting prospects. I'll like take the email. I'm like, this is good. Let me just see what ChatGPT does. And it's like substantially better. I'm like, you know what? It's so annoying. I just spent 10 minutes.
You got to be careful on it. I looked it up on doing it, but then I was like, with the company I was with, create the email to send out based off of this, the product and then this company name, send it out. And then I was like, okay, create the same type of info for this company. And then it pushed out the same type of email for it. So if someone in your competition's doing the same thing you're doing, it's going to spit out the same stuff.
Well, I think there's a difference between when you give it parameters for like, here's what I want you to do versus putting your copy in and having it enhance that, because it'll just, it's kind of like when you talk to a coworker and you're like, here's what I'm sending out. Like, would you revise that or any which way? That's kind of the use case that I've seen it be best for. Otherwise, it just kind of does give you generic stuff back.
Yeah. You got to get good. Those are the people that are going to succeed, who can get good at using Chat GPT. Literally, that's all it is.
Yeah, just like GPTs in general.
It's like Excel. How good are you at setting the filters and the parameters in your Excel?
Yeah, and I feel like their whole team is doing such a good job of like listening to consumer use cases, like not Riverside.
To get rid of employees.
What? Yeah, like the other day, I sent in. There's an app I use for working out, and every time I start a new exercise, it sets my rest time for 2 minutes. I'm like, who's resting for 2 minutes in between every set?
Most everybody in the world.
Really?
Well, think about if most people can't achieve what they're trying to achieve anyways. Most people are probably doing 2-minute sets, where the people that are achieving are doing 30-second
Fair
resting.
enough. I see that argument, but my point is I should be able to customize that. I should be able to
Should be, yeah.
change that. And
Don't let technology dictate what you do. Just do it. You're letting technology tell you like 2 minutes. You're like, I can't change it. I have to stick with 2 minutes now.
No, you're right. I'm the problem. It's me.
It is.
Or the Bucks.
Poor Bucks.
Poor Bucks.
But I can get behind Lions.
You can't hate it.
Can get behind the
Dude,
Lions.
hate to see it. Well, you're a Dolphins fan anyway, so it's like, whatever. You just want a good storyline from here.
I made it to the playoffs. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I mean, good for Baker. He's going to get paid because he did great.
Also, the fact that Baker Mayfield made it to the playoffs and the Browns got rid of him last season.
So good.
It's just a beautiful, like,
so good.
You deserve that, Browns.
And,
every bit of that.
Even better for seeing Flacco perform and be like, you overpaid even again. Here's a dude.
Again.
Like, literally, your backup for the backup is crushing it. And, your other dude can't get a right massage that works, I guess, to keep him on the field.
Well, they limited him to his places he can go to now, so he can't go to where he was. They're not working out the same spots, if you know what I mean. You're going to pull something.
Do you remember the moment? Like, I remember when I was like 24, 25, watching the NFL and being like, those guys are the same age as me, and they are freak shows. Now that I'm 30, I look at the guys in college, and I'm like, what is that? Like, how are they, like, we're the same species, is what you're telling me?
Mm-hmm.
It is wild. The older I get, the more I appreciate just, like, insane athletic ability.
But then again, too, it's definitely getting softer and softer. Like, they're being pulled out for injuries, whereas years before, they'd just be like, oh yeah, tape it up, throw them back out there.
It really is the hitting thing that bothers me. Like, the hard hits. I like, sometimes, because it's discretionary when it's like a defenseless player, you're like, okay. But when it's not a defenseless player, and you see a guy, like, he knows the contact's coming, and he gets...
Like, if they're running at each other, and this guy's coming this way, this guy's coming this way, the guy with the ball is going to lower, because that's what you're meant to do, and the other person is going to lower, because that's what you're told, and then sometimes they just collide. But the person on defense gets penalized for that.
I totally understand. Like, hey, yeah, maybe it's not ideal. Don't spear them, like, helmet to helmet. I've firsthand experienced telling the trainer my phone number when he asked me what my name was. I get it.
But then again, is it worth it maybe sometimes to take the penalty just to send a message? You're like, hey man, we're not messing around out here on this field.
I mean, as a Florida fan, I can only remember that SEC championship when was that Major Wright blew up an Alabama receiver on the sideline to send a message.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautiful. So sometimes, yeah, I guess. But it's just like, what are they doing? I don't know. It feels weird. It feels like the NFL is getting softer and softer on good intentions. And then the money thing behind college football is also weird. I don't know. Like, Alabama with Nick Saban leaving and stuff. It's going to be really interesting to see what next year looks like in college football.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of those stars aren't going to stay around if Nick Saban's not there. They're like, I don't know.
And I think they're actually going to have a true playoff now. It's not 4. I think it's 8 can be in the playoffs now. That's awesome.
I mean, I wonder if it's going to restructure. There's more and more pressure being put on. Like, how many D1 teams are there in, like, the major conferences? Like 50 or 60?
That sounds right. A lot of them.
You know, I mean, I just see it like going kind of more towards the basketball route where it's like, or I guess any of the other collegiate sports where they do a traditional playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why can't we have that?
Why can't we have it? Why does it have to be complicated? Why is all of this?
I'm just glad. I'm glad they can get paid. That's my thing.
Do what they got to do.
It's like now you can get paid pretty good money as a college athlete, and if you're able to go on to the NFL.
I think it'll be interesting to see the ones that get the highest paid in college, because I feel like it's going to be the first pick syndrome in the NFL.
Mhm.
You ever notice that? Like most of the time, the number one pick usually doesn't work out in the NFL. Is that what's going to happen? Is that in the college, they spend so much time and effort in collecting the money for in college that then once they get to the big leagues, it just falls out. Whereas all the people that weren't collecting as much money have more determination than they do to do well.
I mean,
it's like Belichick wouldn't go after trying to find the person getting paid the most in college. He would go after the guys that aren't making that much because they want to push and work harder.
I think it's going to be more of a kid. Like, I wonder what the stats are for the number one pick that wasn't a quarterback and how well they work out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like the guys that aren't a quarterback that are drafted number one, like typically it's like a defensive tackle or defensive end or something like that. I don't know how many cases there are of the last like 10 years. You know,
you would think teams that have their QB you would think teams that have the most sacks in the year or the most times their QB got sacked in the year, you would think their number one pick would be an offensive lineman.
mm-hmm.
They're like, oh no, we need a receiver. Oh, okay, cool. That's exactly what you need because you'll get the ball to them. I'm sure. You have enough time to do that.
All right. So if we go back, so I'm just going to go back in chronological order. Bryce Young, Trayvon Walker, defensive end. Travis Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Myles Garrett, defensive end. Jared Goff, Jameis Winston, Jadeveon Clowney. Guess what he was?
What?
Defensive end. Eric Fisher, offensive tackle. Andrew Colt, Andrew Luck, Cam Newton, Sam Bradford, Matthew Stafford. Yeah, so some of those quarterbacks definitely worked out, but I would say the offensive tackle. I'm Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sure he's doing great. Jadeveon Clowney, doing great. Myles Garrett, doing great. Trayvon Walker, don't fucking know. Sure, he's doing great. So, I mean, it just makes sense because if you're drafting a quarterback for a number one pick, your team sucks.
Yeah. And poor Panthers this year lost their number one pick because they traded last year for their QB that they have now from the Bears, and they traded their number one pick overall, and they're the worst team in the league this year, so they would have gotten the number one pick this next year, but it's going to go to the Bears now.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
I wonder if the Bears are going to keep. Who do they have?
Fields.
Yeah,
he's doing pretty good. I think they'll definitely keep him. They're doing all right.
Good. Everyone's
They're
like,
building.
what is going on with CJ Stroud? That kid played out of his mind.
He had played out of his mind. Worst team in the NFL last year to now make it into the playoffs. I mean, wow.
Not just making it. I mean, winning in the playoffs.
Winning. Yeah. They'll do good next year for sure. They did. But in this playoff game, though, their offense didn't score the touchdown. The defense scored their only touchdown. So Ravens shut that down pretty quickly.
Yeah. I feel really good for the Lions, though. I mean,
we can all get behind the Lions.
We can all. I want to see the Lions win,
especially with Dan Campbell. His last year with Detroit, they went 0-13 or 0-12, and then he was like, "All right, I'm gonna fix this," and then ends up coming back and gets them into the playoffs.
It's wild.
And winning in the playoffs. Come on.
Yeah. If the
Can't
Bucs
get a better feel good
anybody, story. That's what you want. You want a good feel good story. That's what we all wake up for. We all want to be the feel good story in our own lives.
I guess.
I mean, that's what caffeine's for, right?
That's right. That's what gets me going with coffee. It's gonna be okay. A little vanilla sugar.
It's gonna be okay. Try me out. I've been having a lot of selfies lately. I don't think that's good for me.
It just wraps you up like a southern priest. Like, that's gonna be okay.
There's a lot of analogies you could have used, and it's interesting you went with that one.
That's the one I went with.
Yeah, a little childhood coming through.
Just a lot of others, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna be okay.
Sure, dog. Channel the others. Got it.
Channeling the others. It's the Holy Spirit, not me.
Oh, speaking of holy, holy shit, guys. It's a new year. It's 2024. Next week, we have Beth Weinstein coming on, and she runs an incredible coaching program for psychedelic entrepreneurs. The week after that, if you are interested in microdosing, we have a microdose coach coming on. I'm super excited for both of these. After that, we're going to balance it out. We're going to bring in a couple business folks, talk about business, how to build business. If you like business, good. America loves business. So that's what they say. Other than that, you got anything else for the folks this week, Dylan? Any other childhood repressed trauma that you want to express through laughter?
Yeah, Gasparilla's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
By the time this gets posted, Gasparilla will be done. But
yeah.
Should hopefully have some good Gasparilla stories coming out of that.
No, this is getting posted tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, this is getting posted
tomorrow. Which is today, which is when you're listening.
Yeah. Gasparilla, for folks that don't know, is one of the biggest parades in the country. We have a big boat parade down in Tampa where literally it's like an invasion of all the massive pirate ship, and all these other boats come in. The key to the city gets heading over to the pirates, and then there's a massive float party on the 4-mile stretch of Bayshore Boulevard. And
spectacle.
It's a spectacle. There's nothing that compares to it whatsoever.
An invasion is the proper term.
Invasion. Everyone's dressed as pirates. Everyone's drunk as pirates. You're like, oh, I'm not going to get that drunk today, and then you find yourself blacked out in a bush next morning. You're like, all right, I said something, but I'm not surprised.
I've picked people out of the bushes before, just being a good human.
Yeah, you got to. You got to keep each other wholesome pick up your fellow pirate.
Yeah, I haven't, all the years when I was living there, I didn't really hear anything too bad happening. People lose phones, people lose keys, stuff like that.
Yeah, there's nothing like crazy, but I mean, there's a hot year sometimes where people get dehydrated and you gotta, get some water in them, take them to a medical tent. But
you say drink more fluids, they think alcohol. It happens.
Exactly. They're like, give me another shot.
They're like, hey, shot of electrolytes. That's what we're doing here, buddy.
Electrolytes. Yeah, it's huge. I would almost say, as far as like as I don't know if it's bigger than Mardi Gras when it comes to like attendance, but it's bigger. Like the parade is just bigger than Mardi Gras.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the whole city shuts down, and in New Orleans, the whole city doesn't shut down. It's just kind of a certain area.
It's a certain area, but I think Mardi Gras is a week long, right? This is one day.
Right.
Yeah. This is one day.
It's a national holiday for Tampa.
It's just a national holiday, and everyone comes out and shut down an entire major part of the city. So it's pretty cool.
Am I correct in understanding it's kind of like a banner ad for like come throw beads at your titties?
Please.
Yeah.
At mine. I will flash you.
Okay.
You come out to me and find me. If you yell out professional hippies out there, I'll be flashing them.
You gonna be passing out them stickers?
Oh yeah. I was throwing at people. Bang, right in the face. I'll go up to people slapping on their face. Bam.
A little free advertising. Cover that up. Cover that up.
Cover it up.
Scan that barcode. Well, if y'all need a link to his OnlyFans, that might be in the show notes. So
Gasparilla OF. Oh no. I don't know where this is going. I don't know if you've. Oh, there he is. He's back. He unfroze.
You said the magic word.
Oh, I did?
I don't know. Did you?
Dude, I don't know what I'm saying right now. I'm so tired.
It's okay. Hey, this podcast is brought to you by Caffeine, Hopes, and Dreams. Other than that, hey, we love you guys. Hang in there for us another week. We have people that are more professional than us coming on to share their thoughts, and we will spotlight them so you can benefit. Yeah, subscribe. Love you guys.
Peace.